Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rise Travel Institute 2026 Experiential Journey Info Session. I'm Jody. I'm the Experiential Journey team lead, and I'll be your main point of contact throughout the registration process and preparing to travel until the start of our really awesome experiential journey. I'm joined by Vincy, who is the founder of Rise and who is going to tell you a little bit about Rise and our program.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vincy Ho. I'm the founder and executive director of Rise Travel Institute. If you don't already know, we are a 501(c)(3) nonprofit, and our mission is to create a more just and equitable world through travel education. So we have a few online programs for tourism professionals, for travelers, and we also try to do annually or every other year an experiential journey. In the past, we went to Guatemala, and the second trip was to Mexico. And here today, we're going to talk about our upcoming experiential journey to India, which will happen in October. And so, a little more about our experiential journey. So, when we first started to run these experiential journeys, the idea is to allow or let our flagship program participants to experience firsthand what conscious travel means, and to give them an opportunity to support local communities and to practice regenerative travel, and also engage in conversations or deeper conversations about what it means to travel consciously, and to think more deeply about our relationships, like our relationships as guests with our host communities and with the lands and waters that host us. So that is the idea. And Jody, I'd like to pass over back to you.
Thanks. So to tell us a little bit more about, to talk a little bit more about our experiential journey this year and why we're excited and what makes it so special, we have two really wonderful guests with us. Poonam is the founder of Fernweh Fair Travel and our partner in India. And Dr. Anu Taranath is our educational partner. And if you are a student of the Rise flagship program, you know her book. So we're really excited to have them both here with us today and to get things started. Poonam, can you tell us a little bit about Fernweh Fair Travel and what the mission of your organization is?
Hi, namaste. This is Poonam from Indian Himalayas. I am really looking forward to welcoming you to this journey because this journey is going to be really beautiful. So, we are a women's empowerment travel project, which we started from scratch. It was a moment when I saw the plight of young widows and victims of domestic violence in Indian Himalayas, Uttarakhand, to be precise, which is actually between Nepal and Tibet. We started this whole project with one young widow, and today we have 557 women associated with this project. So, and all these experiences are led by local people. 95% are led by women, and we work closely with youth also because we have a huge problem with migration also. Yeah, so that the people are leaving our little villages and going towards Delhi, bigger city, and we have many ghost villages. So yes, our mission is, you know, besides empowering the locals and leaving positive impact on the nature environment, we would like to give an experience which will transform our guests. I want them to remember this trip for rest of their lives. So this is what we are offering and trying to achieve.
Thank you. And Anu, why do you think it's important for travelers to have experiences like this versus traditional trips to the bigger cities?
Yeah, great question. Hi, everyone. I'm Anu Taranath, and I'm a faculty member at the University of Washington. I'm a racial equity and a DEI facilitator and consultant. And as Jody mentioned, the author of the book, Beyond Guilt Trips, Mindful Travel in an Unequal World. And that subtitle says it all to me, Mindful Travel in an Unequal World. Uh, with a certain amount of money and some passport privilege, anybody can go anywhere these days. And there are lots of websites and spaces to help make it easy. But easy and simply going somewhere doesn't actually mean that you're deepening your consciousness about who we are as a people and what it means to be interconnected. We say that we're so globalized and all of these things, but a lot of people haven't had opportunities to slow down and be in communities that are not theirs, and to feel that love and hospitality and reciprocity that I know that we will feel with Poonam and all of the women and the communities that she works with. That's a very special, special thing. In the hustle and grind culture of the West, and many places around the world. Actually, it's an import that is being taken on kind of uncritically by lots of folks. To be able to be in a small community and talk through what actually is arising for us. How does it feel to be on the other side of the planet? What tensions are we holding about difference and identity and justice? Uh, these are the conversations I'm so excited to have with participants on this program. I have lots of experience doing this, and it's one of the most favorite things I get to do. So join us on this program. Join Poonam and I, and let's have as she says, an unforgettable opportunity and an unforgettable trip together.
Thank you.
So Dr. Anu Taranath is a professor at the University of Washington in Seattle, as she just mentioned, and just yesterday she celebrated her 25th anniversary of teaching there. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So as she mentioned also, she is the author of Beyond Guilt Trips, Mindful Travel in an Unequal World, which we adopted as the course text for RISE's flagship certificate program. Jody also mentioned that earlier. And we're just so very pleased to and so honored to have her as our guest instructors, and also join us on this coming EJ to India as an on-site instructor. And I think one thing to highlight is really the alignment between RISE Travel Institute and Dr. Anu's work, which emphasizes the ability of sitting with discomfort and hold space for complexity, and using dialogue to foster deeper understanding of issues on equity and social justice, and also about ourselves and our relationship to the world. So I'm very, very excited to have you join our trip, and I'm looking forward to all these conversations, deep conversations, critical conversations that we're going to have during the trip. Yes. And Poonam, back to you. I also am, and our team are super thankful to have you as our local partner. Also because of your alignment with, our mission. Listening to your story about how Fernweh Fair Travel, was founded. All that was a commitment to addressing a social justice issue, more specifically, aiming at empowering women, young widows, victims of domestic violence, and also other privileged communities through developing regenerative tourism in those communities. I think that's just a very beautiful combination of what we can do together. So very excited about this trip. Jody, I would pass it back on to you to talk more about the trip itself and, all these, the itinerary and all the practical details.
Yeah, thank you, Vinci. I did just have two more questions. One more question for each of you. Poonam, when you invite travelers into the communities that you work with and to visit the projects, what do you hope that travelers take home with them? What do you hope that our travelers will go home with after visiting your communities?
Okay, thank you. Beautiful question. So this is an outer and inner journey. And, our deepest wish is the traveler take home a sense of connection to nature, culture, and to themselves. Yeah. During this trip, we will be teaching our travelers various forms of even, nature meditations. So basically, besides the deep immersion to nature, culture, and people, we will learn to heal ourselves through, the forest bathing, purification, river meditations, and even walking meditation. So we will be giving little tools to our guests, and these tools they actually help me in a big way. I mean, I live in Spain. It really helps me when I'm going a bit crazy, so they just go for a walk and do this, so my really deepest wish is that they find themselves. Once they have completed this trip, they find themselves and they start appreciating, you know much more in their life what they have. They have a renewed joy and appreciation for life. Yeah, so this is what we are excited about, and most of the time we do achieve this. Our guests, they leave and they always stay in touch with us. They keep coming back.
Thank you. Anu, similar question. When you travel with students or with other people, what do you hope after, traveling with you and having these conversations, what do you hope that travelers go home with?
For me, travel has two components to it, right? It's the time that we are elsewhere and what happens when we get back. So, as Poonam is saying, the time that we will be in India feels really special. It feels intentional. We have some really important conversations, community building, self building, connection to nature. So many things are happening, good food, all kinds of things are going on during the trip. I'm also curious and want to help support travelers on what happens after we get back home to the so-called real world, or at least my usual life. If something doesn't shift in that part, then I'm not sure what we're doing on our travels, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a part that I think a lot of travelers might not have as much support around, because they might have this fabulous experience and might feel connected to perhaps themselves, to nature, to the community. And then they go back home and they're back in the urgent hustle grind of everything that's happening. And not to say that we won't get caught up or busy and all of that. That's just regular life. And my work is to really help travelers make the connections between here and there, us and them, and to have those lessons reside in us for months and years after the actual journey, right? And I think that happens, for 20 plus years, I've been leading these conversations, and I know that that happens when you have good facilitation and when you have spaciousness for these kinds of conversations, right? People feel so much more supported and grounded, and they have the tools to be able to process the experience and know what to so-called do with it once they are back home, right? That's key for me. Key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much. I think one of the best parts of our EJs is when we can all come together over dinner or in the bus on the way to wherever we're going and have some really great conversations that aren't
Yeah.
just important, but are also fun. It's really enjoyable to have these conversations with people who are experiencing similar things and who are
Yes.
excited the way that you're excited. So that's one of the conversations along the way is one of the best parts of these trips. Thank you both for sharing some of your perspectives. I want to shift a little bit into some logistics and just share with the audience a bit about the trip itself. So to do that, I'm going to share my screen and show you where you can find this information for yourself. Okay, so this is the Rise Travel Institute website if you're not familiar. And if you go to programs and experiential journey, you find yourself here. And there's a brief overview of our program and our partners. And you can learn a little bit more about our experiential journeys. And then if you click here, you will come to our We Travel registration page. And this is some of the key information for the trip that you need to know. So we have the dates. We'll be traveling in October of 2026. The price and the way to pay, a little bit more information about the trip, what you can expect from us, what's included, what's not included, standard things about, when you're registering for a trip. And then if you come to the bottom, you'll find a brief itinerary. It's an overview, not all of the details. Of course, when we travel, things can change and adjust. And we also want to keep some things as a surprise. But so a general overview of our itinerary. We'll be meeting in Delhi as the international hub for a lot of flights. And then we'll make our way into the Himalayas. Some longish drives, but with really beautiful scenery along the way. And we'll be stopping along the way as well. And we'll have an opportunity to visit several of the communities and projects that Poonam works with. Excuse me. So we'll be invited and hosted by some local communities with traditional music and a welcoming ceremony. We'll have an opportunity to visit some temples along the way as well. Local markets, short hikes. We'll have an opportunity to learn about some of the unique architecture in the area and visit some handicraft artisans and learn about some unique culture and crafting that happens in these communities. And do some hiking and visiting some temples in some really beautiful places. We'll meet with more local artisans and learn about different villages and their ways of life and how they're working to protect their traditions and their heritage, despite, as Poonam mentioned, people migrating out of villages and looking for economic opportunities. We'll visit a wildlife sanctuary, and we'll visit lots of local communities and have an opportunity to eat some really good food, some really good local traditional food, and learn about various traditions, and then make our way back to the city to end our trip. I don't want to go through everything in too much detail. I invite people to look at the website for themselves and learn more on their own. But a few things that we did want to highlight as the usual questions that people have when they're traveling is about that hopefully Poonam can speak to about transportation and what does transportation look like generally, and also if you could share a little bit about some of the places where we're going to be staying.
Okay, so the transportation, we will be mostly all together, like in a smaller bus, but very comfortable bus, and with a driver whom I trust and I've been using since years, because we are going to the Himalayas, so we have to be ready. And the accommodations, we have chosen really amazing accommodations. So okay, Delhi, the basic the airport accommodation, because as we are just spending 2 nights a stopover, then we start our journey to Deoprayag, where there is two rivers, confronting and creating Ganga, River Ganga. And there we are staying in a boutique hotel with stunning views to the Ganges. Then we will continue to our main hub, where we are going to have most of the experiences, where this Fernweh project is located in Mandal Gopeshwar area. And there we are going to stay in a permaculture boutique retreat. So once we are there, we are going to explain to you, all how we have built the whole place, because we followed permaculture and natural building principles to create this beautiful place where we are even growing our food. So you will be eating really fresh, organic food. It's not only vegetarian, because in the Himalayas, people are non-vegetarian. So you have like fresh, organic trout, rainbow trout fishes. You have happy meat, the way they call it. And you will stay in very comfortable accommodations. Yeah, so all boutique, little places, like maximum 7 to 8 rooms, run by the locals, the local ladies and local families. You will get lots of opportunities to interact with the locals. Yeah, so don't worry about your accommodation, your transport, your food. Everything will be great. Even you won't have any chance to get Delhi belly too. You'll be happy.
Thank you. I think one question I think some people might be thinking about is, when you think Himalayas, you think high elevation, harder to breathe, harder to hike. Like, what can you tell us about, the gradual elevation increase, and how can people prepare, and can people who are not avid hikers still enjoy this trip?
Okay. So the way we have designed the whole trip is that we go slowly higher. Most of the time, we are staying at this boutique retreat, which is at 1,500 meters. During our one of the treks, the highest point you can be at is 4,300 meters. But saying that, not everybody will be doing this trek. So, some of us, we are super fit. Some of us do not want to go and, I don't know, reach 4,300 meters within 4 kilometers. I mean, that's tough. The highest temple of Shiva in Tumna. So what we have done, we have created two programs. So the hardcore hikers, actually hardcore, you need to be middle, you need to have at least middle fitness level. Yeah. And they will continue the trek. And rest of us who do not want to do this, we will do a separate program. So everybody will have something to experience. And do not worry about, the elevation. Like I explained, we do slowly, we go higher. Yeah. So all will be good.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then can you tell us a little bit about, I think everyone thinks about how they should dress. I mean, it's going to be cooler weather, so no one is going out in bikinis, of course, but are there considerations to be made? Are there traditional things are there things to consider when people are thinking about how they look and how they dress?
Yes. So because we are going to be really deep into the communities where there is no tourism, we need to respect the locals. And we are going to enter some villages. And if we want to feel welcomed by the villagers, we need to respect, so I always say, whenever you go to a country, if you don't know what to do, look around how people are dressed, how they are behaving. So we have a list to do's and don'ts. The first day we reach in the Himalayas, we will be going to a little market. We go visit a temple, and then we are going to buy kurta. So this like a special, like a top. I don't know what is the closest. Anu, you might know a name. How do you call that?
Tunic, long tunic.
Yeah, like a tunic. Very simple, exactly. And down you could wear jeans, trekking pants, tights, whatever. So I tell the guest, okay, just buy one or two because we'll be visiting some villages, and that's it. And because we are there and it's so cheap and so beautiful, these ladies they end up buying like 7 or 8 for every day a different kurta. And they're like, "Wait, once I wear it, I go back and I give this to my friends, you know." So yes, so we will be dressed up in these clothes. Yeah. And of course, we are in Himalayas, although it won't be like there's the snow or super cold. It won't be so cold. We are going to stay in a valley called it's like Citrus Valley, so it's really green, rich, you know. And if we are lucky, we might be able to go for a swim.
Oh.
I mean, you might freeze, but yeah, you know, we are going to do the purification, the river meditation, so we do that.
Mhm.
So, you know, so um, we will be providing a list, do's
Great.
and don'ts.
Yeah.
You know, simple do's and don'ts.
Actually, your comment about snow was going to answer my next question, because I think that's the other thing people think of Himalayas and snow. So it's good to know that it'll be a really green valley.
Yes.
Um,
And
I
and
Yeah,
and it's post monsoon, so we will be having loads of flowers and fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
amazing. That's so wonderful. I would encourage everyone watching to read through our itinerary a little bit more, and at the end I'll give you some important dates and tell you how to get in touch if you have more questions. So I want to end our time with asking you each if take 2 minutes to sum up why you're really excited and why you hope everyone else gets excited. Just like a short thing. Whoever wants to start.
I mean, I would like to know from you guys, why are you excited to come for this trip? What is it that you want to achieve? What is it you want to experience?
I'm excited because I've never been to India, and I see things online all the time, movies and books and articles and Instagram posts and people, and it's a big place and there's a lot of diversity, but I didn't know as much about this part of the country before researching this trip and working with you. And I'm excited to experience something so different from what I know on a day-to-day basis living in New York, and um having an opportunity to really meet people. When we travel, we don't always have an opportunity to have those real connections with the people whose homes we're visiting. So I'm really excited to have an opportunity to meet people and learn from them, and share culture, not just absorb and learn from them, but also hopefully give something back as well and share my own culture with them as well and have a proper exchange.
I mean, I must tell you that this is not a normal Indian trip. It's quite different. You know, even the religion in our area is totally different. Besides Buddhist and Hinduism, we believe in nature gods a lot. You know, that's why um, the government they are not able they're able to cut the trees, or because there are so many companies coming. They want trees and wood, but they cannot, because we believe these forests, they are our gods. Dia Abnova, where you're going to stay, it means goddess of nature. You know, we have a temple of goddess of nature. So it's going to be really totally different experience, you know, very different than India, a little bit India also. But yeah, I'm excited to share this with you.
Yeah.
I love what you just said, Poonam, about how the local communities value nature and what nature means to them. Because a lot of oftentimes travelers, when we travel to places with beautiful landscape, we only think about the landscape, but we don't think about the people and the interrelationship, the interconnection between the places and the communities, and what it means to the guests, right? And so I think I'm just really excited about that, like what this trip has to offer to our guests, to our participants, and help them connect not only with nature, but like have a deeper understanding of what nature means to the local communities. And we actually have an additional perk that we just added to this trip, that is a free carbon literacy and climate justice training that is packaged with this tour. So anyone who register for the experiential journey, you would have a chance to also undergo a certification, if you wish, undergo a certification training by Rise Travel Institute to boost your carbon literacy and also understand what it means by climate justice. And when we're traveling to India on the ground, when we interact with the communities, we will know, how climate change impacts them firsthand. And just through their stories, we would have a better understanding of what that means and what we can do about it. So I'm really, really excited about it.
Thank you. Looks like I have to register for this trip just because I would like to do that.
You're in.
No.
For me, my excitement and commitment to this program and this journey, there's so many reasons. One, because it's a complicated world right now. I mean, it always is, but it seems especially complicated. And wow, all kinds of things are going on. Each day we open the news to wonder, what has happened now? What has X person done or X unit done? And it can be somewhat addictive to be in that cycle of what new bad thing has happened. And it's important for us to be aware and to know what's happening for sure. And working for the things that we want more of in the world is also where we should put our attention, not just on the things we are against, on the things we want to create, on the connections we want to build, on the learning that we want to do, on the expansion that we would like to experience. That's where we can also put our attention, not just on the news cycle of one bad thing after another. So the fact that this trip is being organized with so much intentionality, that the communities that we will be visiting are so well known to Poonam, and there's a deep connection already there. It reduces the transactionality of things, and it deepens the relationality of things. And so many of the people that I'm talking to these days are tired of transactions, are tired of surface conversations, are tired of following one bad news cycle after another. I think people are looking for something a little bit deeper, a little bit more nurturing, and a little bit more restorative to themselves and to the earth that we belong to. So the fact that we get to experience some of this and talk about some of this together is what really drives my excitement and enthusiasm for this trip.
Wow,
Just
thank
said
you
it
so
so
much.
beautifully. Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Anu just said. I think one thing really special and unique about our experiential journeys is also our travel community. The travel community that we bring together, who are open-minded, who are curious, and who are compassionate, who care about the world. And this is an opportunity for everyone to come together and support one another on this journey, as Anu just said, in face of all these bad things happening around the world, how can we ground ourselves as a community to come up with ways to respond to all those things? And so we traveled twice with our alums and communities in the past, as I mentioned earlier, to Guatemala, to Mexico, and we had amazing experiences, not only because of the deep connections that we built with the local communities, but also within our our group, with ourselves. So it's very different from just joining a group tour. You don't know who's gonna all these random strangers that you'll be spending 10 days with. At Rise, at the experiential journey, on the experiential journey, you're sure to meet like-minded people, not necessarily having everyone having the same political opinions or whatsoever, but everyone will have this open-mindedness and willingness to learn, coming together to experience this together. So yeah, that's something that makes our experiential journeys unique.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, this journey has the power to inspire, connect, and transform. That is the most exciting part for me, because these experiences, they are going to, mm, when the experiences end, the journey will not end. It will continue. And while on these trips, we will connect to so many people that we will stay in touch, and keep on exchanging our ideas, even with the locals, because we will have so many opportunities for this intercultural exchange.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you all so much. This is a really great way to start the first full week of the year. I really enjoy talking with all of you, and I hope everyone who's watching is excited and eager to learn more and participate. So I want to just finish off with telling everyone that in the email where this video is living, there will also be a link to the registration page where you can register and sign up. You have until June, so plenty of time to make things happen. You can sign up for a payment plan to make things easier. And you can also reach out to me. My email address will be here so that you can all ask any questions that have come up. If you have questions for Anu and Poonam specifically, we will collect everyone's questions and share them, and then send a follow-up email with their responses. So any question at all, any concern, any nerves that you have about embarking on a trip like this, please let us know. You're definitely not the only one, so we want to share information and start building community now. It doesn't have to only start when we get to India. So thank you all for joining us. As a reminder, risetravelinstitute.org is where all of this information lives, and lots of other information about what Rise is doing. Our community is big and constantly growing and innovating and doing really amazing things. So check in with us and keep in touch. Even if you can't come to India with us, join Rise, join us. And check us out on Instagram. We're constantly sharing useful information there, Rise Travel Institute. And hopefully we will see you all, or at
Join
least some of
us.
you, in
Bring a
October
friend.
in
Bring
India.
two.
Yes.
Bring three.
Join us,
Sorry,
yes.
friend.
Join us.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
to Vinci and Poonam and Anu. Thank you to everyone who's watching,
Thank
and
you.
have a great 2026.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you.